Hey everyone, today I'm going to be making a tatami cutting stand for brother Nathaniel. There will be a link to his channel down in the description. The material that I'm going to be using will be red cedar. He wanted the center post out of a 6x6. And here is the center post. I had to get rough sawn wood, so what I'm going to be doing is running this through my planer to save some time. The legs are also rough cut cedar, so again I will also be running this through my planer just to save time. So without further ado, let's get started. To give you an idea of how different it is, here's the rough cut piece. As you can see, it's quite rough on the edges. And here's the piece that just went through the planer. Much smoother.
Don't look back, rush, you're so fast. Don't ever be caught, this is not your war. Run and never stop at all. No cage can keep you there for much time, as you know.
The planing is now done. All the rough cut marks are gone. I'm going to go at this next with a belt sander to make this even smoother, and then I will finish with an electric hand sander.
They're all afraid of you. Jump much higher, climb as high as you can flee. You have the soul of a great guy, so sad someday you'll say goodbye. No cage can keep you there for much time, as you know. No cage is good enough for you. No one can make you do anything against your will. They're all afraid of you. You're my friend, you're such a faithful friend. I'd rather you two stay. But I fear someday I'll have to watch you go away to an unknown place that we all time, as you know. No cage is good enough for you. No one can make you do anything against your will. They're all afraid of you. No cage can keep you there for much time, as you know. No cage is good enough for you. No one can make you do anything against your will. They're all
pases de mi vera, yo te sigo a donde vayas. Me dijiste que me amabas y yo te entregué mi alma. Me marchita la conciencia si no huelo tu fragancia. Y es que solo me contengo, mi pasión la llevo dentro. Ver tus curvas enloquece y así mi amiguito crece. Carnecita, buen bocado, mucho tiempo esperando. Y ahora que llegaste es la hora de arriesgarse. Vamos a bailar los dos en nuestro amor. Yeah. Tengo que danzar por ti, tú por mí. Sabrosito, muéstrame tu flor, oh diosa del glamour.
Okay, I got a lot of the work on this done with my dad yesterday. We shortened the post, cut the legs to length, beveled the legs with the router. I sanded the legs. I drilled the top of the post for the spike, and we got the legs attached. So I'm going to do a little bit of the fine work now. I'm going to bevel the edges on the post. After the routing, I will also be sanding this, and then the next step after all this will be the staining.
Vamos a bailar los dos en nuestro amor. Yeah. Tengo que danzar por ti, tú por mí. Sabrosito, muéstrame tu flor, oh diosa del glamour. Oye, póstrate ante mí, tú eres mi festín, my love. Venga muchacha, que estoy en racha. Yo soy un hacha, ya estoy aquí. Vamos a bailar.
Okay, so the sanding is now finished. I did much more sanding after turning the camera off. I just decided to save you the time of having to watch me do all that sanding. And now it is time to stain it. This is a Minwax Polyshade Stain and Poly mix, and this will be stained espresso color. I already mixed the paint, so it's time to get going.
Tengo que danzar por ti, tú por mí. Sabrosito, muéstrame tu flor, oh diosa del amor. Oye, póstrate ante mí, tú eres mi festín, my love.
Okay, so that's the first coat. As you could see on the center post, I didn't do the side that it's laying on yet because obviously I need something for the post to be able to lay on. So once this coat's dry, I'll flip it over and I'll do the other side. And with the legs, I'll do the same thing. I'll flip them over and I'll do the other side when those are dry as well. And then once I get that done, we'll see how these look. I got the material for the spikes. I went with 1-inch oak dowels, and I'm going to do the shaping of them now. I shape spikes for cutting stands on my belt sander. I keep the side disc pretty rough. I usually leave this at between a 40 to an 80 grit disc, depending on what I have laying around. And then I smooth it with the belt on the top, and this is a 240 grit belt. So I will start shaping this now. Okay, the spikes are made, and Brother Nathaniel wants some spirals on these. Okay, the center post is dry, and I have some of the spikes drying right now. They're not all dry. This one here is though, but I still need to drill this center hole a bit bigger because this is not the right size. So I'm going to drill that right now. The hole's drilled and the spike now fits. Perfect fit. So from here, I'm going to wait for the other spikes to dry, and then from there, we'll see how it looks. So the stand is now done. The center post is 42 inches tall. It's got 6 oak spikes, which, by the way, look like vampire stakes. The spikes took 4 or 5 coats to get to match the rest of the stand. Honestly, I lost count at one point, but it was 4 or 5 coats. Most of the stand took 2 coats, except for the bottom. On the bottom, I gave it an additional 2 coats to give it more waterproofing, because I figured the bottom is what's going to be touching the ground, so that seemed like a good idea to do. I gave it 2 coats of this stain inside of the hole that these spikes go in to give that some waterproofing as well. And it is actually quite stable. It's hard to tell here because obviously the ground is uneven, but trust me, it is stable. The reason why I rounded the corners on this is for 2 reasons. Number 1, it looks nice, but also because since I had to put this through my planer, all the corners were sharp, as can be expected. A sharp corner takes damage more easily than a rounded corner. So making the edges rounded will help prevent it from getting nicks and things like that. Nate wanted this taller to make it better for cutting water bottles and things like that, not just pool noodles. So that's exactly what I did. I made it taller. Total work time on this was 8.5 to 9 hours. It took quite some time to plane it down to make it smooth because, as you saw, this was rough cut lumber. Plus the additional routing and sanding, cutting, shaping, staining, etc. All that, just the work time was 8.5 to 9 hours. That's not including drying time. For those of you who don't know, red cedar is generally more weather resistant from what I've researched. So that's why Nate chose the red cedar. He wanted something tougher. That's why the center post is a 6x6. And the stain is a stain and polyurethane all in one. So besides the fact that red cedar is generally better when it comes to outdoors, the stain and polyurethane will help make it more waterproof. So this should be very durable. So that's pretty much it. If you'd like a cutting stand like the one I made in this video, or you'd like some sword work done, or work on a tomahawk, or any of the other weapon customizing or repair that I offer, check out my website at studentofwarcustoms.com. The link will be in the description. The music in this video is by a friend of mine named Lo Belver. The link to his channel will also be in the description, along with the links to the songs that were used. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.